Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your undivided attention, or at least partially divided?
Partially?
Now, with the assistance of my diligent taskmaster, Susan, we're going to go around the room, one per chance, and then we're going to go around and then write them down. After we've written down all of the suggestions, we're going to discuss them. No fighting, just discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, starting on my left, Pat and Julian, a suggestion.
Seminars.
Seminars.
Seminar by one of our experienced DTMs. Oh, don't do that.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you mean from the educational series like Successful Clubs, A Better Speaker, Leadership, Excellence in Leadership? Or do you just want a seminar from something?
Something more along the lines, I think they were saying, as speech writing, and I think they do have some of those in the
Better
leadership,
speaker.
the better speaker and the better.
PowerPoint presentations.
So there's tons of those that can be used.
Okay, thank you. Back to June, she's smiling. Suggestion number 2.
Suggestion number 2 is that we explain or tell others about our experience in the club, our current experience in the club, and how it's benefited us. So when we hear them struggling, we can encourage them to join us.
Sharing experience.
Well, the first words are substance with spice.
Substance with spice. That sounds like an Italian dish.
Well, one of the things that like Stephen said, we come up with at least once a month doing something a little unusual, like our Halloween will be, something different where everybody wears costumes. So keep people excited. The contest was one. Obviously, those come up, and that's a little something different. People always like to see the contest, and just every month do something unique.
That's kind of what we were thinking of too with the seminar idea, but the fun things too.
This is my costume. Charlie and Amy.
And
John.
Warmth from members, make everyone feel like family in here.
You're not finished. Round 2. Second verse, same as the first. By the way, does somebody have a computer?
I have them.
Can somebody print these? Oh, I guess
We can take a picture of it later.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I'm back to Pat.
Another thing we thought of was to let people know, especially for the guests, when somebody gets up there, whether they're a very experienced speaker, if they're a new speaker, if they've done 3, 5, 25, so that when somebody new is here, they don't feel intimidated to get up there because everybody's so great. I know I didn't want to get up. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to make a fool of myself.
So explaining experience. Can I say I'm a rookie? Julian?
I think that's a great example. Sometimes, and when we were talking about one particular example where somebody came in and saw how everybody was interacting and speaking, and they got intimidated and never came back because they said, well, you guys are such good speakers, they felt out of place. The reality is, like Susan, I think Susan did an excellent job at the beginning telling her story that she couldn't even stand up and give a little presentation on the yacht counter because she was scared to death, and now she's doing advanced,
She's my taskmaster.
She's really good at it, right? But at the beginning, and folks don't, they see people that have some fluency in the art, and they don't see where they started from. And so they are comparing themselves with somebody like Susan that's been doing it 6 years.
You
or so.
can compare,
Yes, you can. I think it's good to, because then you know the growth.
because
Well-
he recorded my icebreaker
Right.
speech.
Right, but the point
And my
is,
last one.
but the point is, when people compare themselves to Susan or to Stephen or somebody like that, and they see like, boy, they're up here and I'm down here, it can be intimidating. And sometimes we feel like, you were just born that way. Well, Susan was just, she's just a good fill in the blank. A lot of people do that. It doesn't matter if it's speaking, if it's playing
A good person
football,
to run away
if it's anything.
behind the bathroom.
They don't see like the guy who's the Toastmaster guy that teaches speaking. What's his name?
Which
Oh,
of
Tony
many?
Robbins?
No,
Sam Brown?
well,
Darren LaCroix?
Darren LaCroix? Oh,
When he says, you see me now, but you got to see me 10 years ago when I sucked. Okay, you can't look at me now and say, well, he's just naturally gifted, because he's a very well-paid professional speaker. He says, that's not how I started. I think sometimes we all tend to do that. We look at somebody that's made it and we think, well, this great football player, basketball player, he was just born that way. They don't see that the guy practiced 20 hours a day for 17 years.
Okay. Back, Gail, or June?
Second round.
Anyone you want.
Number one, we said that if members were absent, we should have a buddy system where that person would call the member and see if they're okay, why they were at the meeting, so that they will feel needed, wanted, or missed, and they will endeavor to come to.
Very good. Buddy system. Mike?
Yeah, ours was along the same line, was to keep contacting, maybe an automatic emails. Make sure those email lists are kept up to date. So because we do see a lot of members all of a sudden come in once every 6 months, and who knows what kicks that off, but I'm sure, I know people get a lot of email, but if you could still kick something to somebody and say, hey, we're still here, I'd like to see you come back.
Charlie?
Okay, we think about keeping people involved in activities, keep the members doing a speech or any kind of activities that makes them want to come back and be part of the family.
Okay, I think I'm running out of time.
Let
Last
me
round,
make
keep it
one,
short.
yeah, it's going to be short. We tend to rely too much on emails, and emails are not effective. If you want, because I tell you, I have called people, and it's a huge difference when you call somebody on the phone and you talk to them instead of just emailing it. It's just not effective. I mean, it's just another email. It's no effort. There's no emotional involvement.
Thank you. June, back to your group.
Another one, how to get new members, recommendations.
No, we're going to try and stay on retention.
Okay.
I decided
Or
to,
retention?
I decided to narrow the scope because of time limitations.
Publish the meeting and speech information before.
Announce speakers prior to.
Okay, publish the agenda.
The agenda and
But
also
we're
the
gonna have people on it
speeches.
first.
Good.
Not the script, not the transcript.
Could never publish my script. Back,
What's that second one say, Stephen? That you're writing.
keep entertaining.
Oh, okay, keep entertaining, okay. I think we're out of them.
Make the meetings entertaining and give value. Make it worth something that people are worth wanting to set aside the time to want to be there, as opposed to even just doing nothing. So they get over inertia.
okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We missed
It-
one though.
Who did we miss?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
We had listened to what people want and align with that. Ask the members what they want out of Toastmasters and help them get there.
good.
And one more big one.
I just lost
We used to
control
do
of
this
this.
before, and we don't anymore. I'm putting it up here not because it's the most important, but because that's the only place I've run.
Oh.
Food. If we can advertise that we have snacks along with our meeting, you would be amazed how far that goes. I mean, it's silly, but if we can do that in several different ways. So, you know, that's something that the executive committee can work on.
And drinks.
I mean, everyone else too, but
How about drinks?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
I
you,
like
Susan.
that idea.
Okay, in a couple of weeks we'll do this. I just have to digress for a second, having listened to these thoughts. I belong to a club in Seoul, Korea called South River Toastmasters. About 20% of the members joined because they knew South River had the greatest parties. At least 2-3 times a year, there were places in Seoul where you'd get pizza and wine, and they'd have a room, and for like $5, all the wine you could drink until it ran out, which was about 2 glasses, and some pizza. But also, here in the United States, people like me that are homeless, we don't go to the email all the time. Over there, and even though I just have a dumb phone, I would always get the phone call for next Wednesday. Thursday night, you knew at 11:30, you're going to get the text message or the call, Irving, you're going to evaluate next week. Here, if you don't look at your email for 3 or 4 days, it's Thursday when you're finding out about Wednesday's meeting. So we should use, you can turn the light off. This is off the record.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it back to my distinguished taskmaster, Susan. Thank you very much.